Come on then, Eric. Oh, more materia. A Keyward's jail? So is he really the father? I don't know how long it's been since we last spoke, La Habrea, and truth be told, I'd hoped we never would again. But I see now that I was a fool to think I would ever escape your meddling. Just what is that thing that called himself La Habrea, and why is it the spitting image of your younger self? I find it hard to believe you only just now found out such a being was wreaking havoc in Pandemonium. Do you think matters would simply sort themselves out? I suppose you deserve at least a cursory explanation. I was well aware of the anomalies occurring within Pandemonium, including the fact that Azam and Elidibus had taken it upon themselves to investigate. I saw no reason to insert myself into the situation. For a time, that was. Imagine my surprise when instead of a formal report from you and yours, I received a communication from one of the Keywords stating that research and operations were proceeding as usual. While Hephaestus' deception was almost childish in its simplicity, it became plain to me that your grasp on the situation was slipping. So, you knew of his existence from the beginning. I can hardly imagine that you would suffer another to masquerade as one of the convocation, not without good reason at least. As you well know, the name La Habrea is but a marker of my station. It is not the name I was born with. Hephaestus has claimed that for himself. I cannot fault him for it, as he is my other half, in a manner of speaking. Is this a Jekyll and Hyde story? But interesting that we have confirmation that La Habrea used to be Hephaestus, much like Emmett Selk used to be Hades. He knows all that I know, my equal in every way, yet within his heart is naught but greed, envy, and desire, all the emotions that we are loath to acknowledge within ourselves. If what you say is true, what purpose would such a being serve? Enables La Habrea to do his job better. He is the product of experimentation gone awry, a reminder of the days when I was yet young and reckless. I thought him sealed away for good, but he seems time has a way of unearthing the shame we bury. When he spoke of my mother, he looked at you with venom in his eyes, blamed you for her death. Tell me, was he right to do so? Mr. Hyde murdered her. His words were but the ramblings of a tortured mind. The hatred and despair he endures has warped his view of the world irreparably. I don't believe you. I've read Jekyll and Hyde. I've taught Jekyll and Hyde. It's a difficult book to teach without spoiling the twist. And now that he has awakened, he must be put to rest. If he succeeds in breaching Pandemonium's protective wards, he shall invite disaster unto our star. As Chief Keyword of Pandemonium, it is my duty to decide the proper course of action. As such, I declare that all research shall be summarily abandoned and the facility destroyed. That seems a bit much. What? We'd leave the other warders to their doom? That sounds like a scorched earth scenario. It is a choice befitting La Habrea. Do you disagree? You speak of duty, and ours is to guide our star and its inhabitants upon the correct course. It is no surprise that you would choose annihilation of Pandemonium if its existence posed even the remotest risk to our people. Yet, as you can see by Octhonius' response, the decision is somewhat more nuanced than that. Azam and I grappled with this conundrum for some time, in fact. That is precisely why I chose to involve myself directly, so it's the only way I could truly determine the best solution. And you need not trouble yourself with that further. The Chief Keyword must prevent the worst from occurring, no matter the cost. Your feelings, Elidibus, are of no consequence. Have you taken even a moment to consider another path? No. You spared nary a thought for but yourself and your duty. You've no idea the trials we've endured, the foes that Demajen has stood against. Yeah, don't worry about me. Demajen, is it? A being of such ether as I have never seen. What are you? She is the guiding star that shall lead us safely through this. Thanks to her stout arm and steadfast courage, we have subdued the mythic creations and returned them to their cells. Speaking of which, I'd hear your opinion, Demajen. As outsiders, we are in a unique position to look upon circumstances with our vision unclouded by attachment. It's too soon to give up on saving the others. Agreed. We still know next to nothing about Hephaestus, and I highly doubt La Habrea has been forthcoming with the truth. But we've managed to regain control of Asphodelos. He must be made to see that there's merit in continuing on his path. He's right there. I have it. Speak in your official capacity as Lidibus the Emissary. Judge what approach is more sound, and even La Habrea will be compelled to listen. He's right there. As a Lidibus, I am duty-bound to assess the matter from a position of impartiality. My opinion as Themis can carry no weight. You understand what that means, yes? I do. Even so, you've walked with us all this time, seen what we've seen. Based on that alone, I trust that you'll find the best way forward. Very well. Then in my capacity as emissary, I shall state my judgment. At present, there are merits both in destroying Pandemonium outright and in taking time to rescue its researchers, and neither is yet an impossible task. Therefore, I judge that the most measured choice would be to continue upon our present course. We delve into Abyssos, interring any mythic creations we encounter along the way. You have yet to witness Demajen's might and Erichthonius' resolve. I would ask that you see our capabilities firsthand and only then decide if our endeavour is futile. If such is the will of the emissary, then I shall obey. However, if indeed I find your strength to be lacking, I trust there will be no objections to the immediate destruction of Pandemonium. So is the crystal that they've gone seeking in the present Hephaestus' crystal? And is that why the crystal that we saw in the trailer is red, not blue? Because it would match his hair, obviously. You needn't worry about that, we won't fail. You are bolder than I remember. He's pissed off. He's an angry young man. And you're even more tedious than I remember. Demajen, come find me when you're finished. He not happy. Ah, father-son strife. Erichthonius is understandably frustrated, but if we are to conquer Abyssos, we must go forth with clear heads. Pray lend an ear to his troubles, that their weight might be lightened. Go on, then. Where is he? Through here, apparently. Standing in the middle on his own. You do have my gratitude, ill-fit as I am to show it at the moment. Without your words to sway him, La Habrea would have carried out his plan without a second thought. It's a very cool looking place. Castlevania-esque as it may be. When at first we realised the creations had slipped their bonds, the other keywords had all in their power to restore order. Even though they could have chosen escape, they remained to aid their allies. I'm certain not a soul among them would wish to see this facility erased from the world. They don't deserve to be abandoned simply for carrying out their duty. And besides, Hephaestus has secrets yet untold, secrets that would be buried if Pandemonium were reduced to rubble. I mean to uncover the truth behind his words, the truth of my mother. While Lahbray was quick to dismiss his claims, I failed to see what Hephaestus would gain by fabricating such a story. All I was told of my mother's death was that she perished in an accident. No one would say more. It was almost as if they feared saying more, in fact. Even if it was not Lahbray that dealt the fatal blow, we've seen with our own eyes how quickly he can condemn others to die. I only wish to know at last what befell her. What do you think, Demajen? Does the Lahbray you know have any regard for the lives of others? Or will he carry out his duty with another's blood on his hands? He wouldn't use my ally as a vessel for his own twisted ends. What would possess him to do that? Even for Lahbray, such an act would be a black mark against him if it were made known. I can't imagine how much your ally suffered. But it is plain there is much to consider. Thank you, Dem. It's easy for me to get carried away by emotion where he's concerned. We should focus on the task at hand, proving to Lahbray that we're capable of saving Pandæmonium and its keepers. The most convincing way to do that will be to regain control of Abyssos. Nod. Though I'm loath to admit it, he would know more about those depths than any of us, and seeing as how we require every advantage we can afford. Would you speak to him for us? He seems to have a special interest in your capabilities and may deign to help with your suggestion, if only to see what you can do. We're an hour into this, and we've only done one. So they've ramped up the amount of story. Come on then, Lahbray. My main loaf. Ericthonios appears to have a deep trust in you, and Elizabeth tells me you share some relation to Azem. Your unusual ether does not mark you as a familiar. It's unlike anything I have seen, even among the countless concepts I've observed. To think that I would encounter an existence I could not create by my own hand. Azem never ceases to surprise. Sassy hand on hip. The previous Azem was much the same. In taking the entirety of the star into consideration, she came to hold dear emotions and people that a more logical mind would have discarded. This made her act in her own self-interest more often than not. Is he dissing Vanar? Just as you and Elizabeth have conducted yourselves in this matter, the true danger of Azem's nature is its tendency to infect all those she comes into contact with. Evan Selk said much the same. Trust that I shall do naught that would violate my duty. And yet you so frivolously invoke your authority as emissary to justify this little excursion. It matters little, however, and your deeds can speak for you now. You wish to know more of Abyssos, I take it. And though I no longer have control over many of its functions, I can yet sense what creations lie within. The Chief Keyward, sir, reaches far indeed. Well then, what do we have to look forward to? I sense no creations of note. Perhaps they've been made into fodder for experimentation, or perhaps they've been transferred to the deeper circles. Yet Hephaestus would never allow you safe passage. He has left a trial for you to overcome. I speak of Hegemony, Keyward of Abyssos. Though her presence is stained with marks of corruption, it is unmistakable. I knew her as a woman gifted in magic and blessed with a highly logical mind. While I can sense those qualities within her still, there is something else at work. She's been infected by venom. If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say that's because she's already been twisted into Prometheus, doubtless against her will. Demajen? Themis? We must rescue her from that cruel fate, and if we cannot, we can at least seal her away until we find a means to undo the damage. Your allies make you bold, Ericthonios. I very much look forward to seeing how far they carry you. Wow. Carried. Hard carry. Demajen hard carry. That's my next MMO character. The 6th circle now accessible. Once again, I shall invoke the magic words and say, I don't know how long this is going to take, because it's the second day of the patch, so it's probably going to be a little bit slower. And there we go, like magic. So this is the 6th circle. What kind of funky music are we going to get for this? That's... hello. Very goopy. Hello, Phantom friends. Uh-oh. Hegemony. Oh. Okay. Somebody was straight in there. Etheric polyminoid is... okay, so they're just cover an area on the floor. I'm kind of glad, actually. Oh, shit. That's my stupid fault. I'm kind of glad I've turned the music down a bit, because it... at least... oh, shit. That's quite difficult to see, actually. Okay, so that's got a... I've been parasited. Ah, okay, so it's a face outwards thing. Okay. Right, that's a tank buster. Right, this is the... yeah, these things again. I'm expecting this to change at some point. I know, it's just going to combine with the conal bit. Oh dear. Oh. A pause. That's tricksy. I think that's the first time we've ever had a pause in one of those, isn't it? Oh, we've got loads of time for this. Eight, 7. Okay. Oops, that was not the ability I wanted to use. Okay, I'm getting to grips with this now. It's the ow. It's the conal thing I just need to watch out for. Everything else makes sense to me. Ethereal exchange. Oh, okay, so that changes it. No. So it's not like that. I'll need to look into that more. It's difficult to tell how you're supposed to do that in the moment. Oh, it's doing it again. I've never been good at the switch mechanics. Where's my cursor gone? It's usually actually really straightforward, those switch mechanic things. It just needs usually somebody to explain to me how it's done. I don't think I have to do anything here, do I? No. Yeah, so there's 2 sets. And you get a little marker above your head. Oh, the Sigma one again. It's actually quite difficult to see what is covered where on that. I'm not, you know, I don't have color blindness or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, I like these mechanical fights. Just not very good at this particular one because it's my first go here. Right, so they just... Right, I'm just going to stand here for a second. Yeah, okay, I get it. So you've just got to stand in the place where the gap's going to be. Okay. And watch out for the conal bits. We are Venom. I love the fact that Elidibus is just kind of Doing a sassy pose when he appears. Ching ching. Winning. Nod. Smile. Fabulous. Right, let's vote need on that. I always start off with the body piece. $94 is not a terrible roll, but got it. That's one. Oh darn! I didn't look at the. Didn't take a picture of the what's-its background for the thumbnail. We've won. The keyword is sealed away and alive this time. Library can't deny us now. He can, and he probably will. Yeah, the story in between the fights is expansive. Servant of Violence. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not click the like button and consider subscribing. Remember, you can ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, cheerio.